Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Give Me Back My Action Movies, the podcast where, well, Charlie talks about action movies that he loves when he's a kid, and I talk about action movies that I've seen once or twice, pretty much for the most part, and then we talk about how they were pretty good for the most part. Charlie, what's up, bud?
That was extremely accurate for some reason.
Well, you know, if I can't go for silky smooth voice and entertaining, I'll go for accuracy from now on.
I think that works.
Yeah, there you go. So, first of all, this is the 11th episode of the series, Give Me Back My Action Movies. You hopefully will hear a little bit of a difference in audio right now, as I have now acquired a new microphone, and Charlie should be up and running by the next episode. So, hopefully, we're gearing towards there. We're getting towards a lot better audio and a tighter product. So, for those of you that stuck with us, thank you. I know the audio wasn't the best, but we're getting there.
But our content is solid.
Yeah. But damn it, we're trying. We're real nice fellows.
That's true.
So today's episode, obviously, if you can read, which obviously you can because you're able to hit this button, today's episode is Darkman.
So this one came to fruition because Dan wanted something different.
I did. I just wanted a little something a little different, a little different flavor on the palate.
Yeah, so he wanted to get away from the Arnolds, the Stallones, the Van Dams, and what everyone thinks of with action movies. So I had watched a YouTube video. Sludge turned me onto these things. It's called Marvelous Videos, and they did a few weeks ago a Darkman kind of video about all the Darkman movies, and I watch it. It's awesome, and it just got me going. Like I really want to watch Darkman again. I probably watch it once a year, twice a year, and then it dawns on me. I'm like, this is an action movie. This is a superhero movie. This is a movie I think is different enough that I'm gonna see what Dan says. And I suggested it, and surprisingly enough, he went, "Yep, sure, let's do it."
Well, I hadn't seen this movie probably since 92, 91 when it came out. Actually, I probably saw it on video. What, the year after it came out? Back
That's
then,
why
it took about a year or so to get to video, really
I
ish.
was I was
9
actually
months.
trying to look that up because I remember if it was a popular movie, they stayed in the theater forever. It felt like,
Yeah.
but VHS kind of rolled around. I want to say like 9 months to 12 months
Something
later.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I might have even seen this on like HBO or something, but I know it was definitely not a theater film.
no, I was 10 when this come out, so there was no way my mom was letting dad take me to go see Darkman, what I consider the very first rated R superhero movie.
It was. So we're getting into a little bit of the history of Darkman, but yeah, Darkman is definitely a dark, no pun intended, superhero film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elements that were drawn from other source material, and we will get into that as well.
Yeah.
That made Darkman what it was. So let me go ahead and spit out some of the statistics as I am wont to do.
Yeah.
Darkman, the estimated budget for this was $14 million. Its opening weekend in the US and Canada, approximately, it was August 26th, 1990. It came out on the 24th, but the weekend was the 26th. It did 8,054,860. The gross in the US and Canada was 33,878,502. And the gross worldwide was 48,878,502. So for a $14 million film, worldwide grossed 48 million.
I mean, not
That's
spec.
pretty good.
It's pretty good, but not spectacular.
Well, it did almost it did what, 3 times its budget?
It did 3 times its budget,
That
but
ain't bad, man.
I there was a review I read, and I couldn't put this any better, was the movie without an audience when this movie came out.
Well, this movie, the success of this movie was the marketing. I
Yes.
remember everyone was asking, "Who's Darkman? Who's Darkman? Who's Dark?" I remember watching an episode of Arsenio Hall one night. That dates you, where he came out and he was like, "Hey everyone, I'm Darkman," and that, I
Yeah.
mean, that was part of his monologue. So it's like that is what I think got people in the theaters to see it. I don't know if Darkman would have done so well in a modern era because of, internet, social media, and such. Everyone would be like, back then, who was Darkman? I don't know. Liam Neeson, who obviously stars as Darkman in this, was
He wasn't
relatively unknown.
he was semi-unknown. This is technically his first action movie.
Yeah,
The
so based on that too, there was a lot of mystery of who was Darkman. I remember that when I was younger. I'm like, who the hell is this Darkman guy? You know, um, so
I
I think that really helped more than anything.
I mean, coming off of that, we can kinda touch a little bit on what we talk about, like, when we remember this movie. So you remember it based on the marketing, the Arsenio Hall, that
Yeah,
kinda stuff.
yeah.
So, I told you I had a pretty strong attachment to this movie when we were first talking about it.
We need a sound. We need a sound bed for when you start getting nostalgic. Obviously,
That's
we
what
do
we need,
that.
The Wayne's World.
Yeah, right. But okay, so everyone jump in the Wayback Machine with Charlie when he was just little 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 Charlie Chase
Well, you're not wrong.
back on the
This
side of a
is
mountain.
the movie came out in '90, so I was 10 years old when this movie came out. I saw the trailers, I saw everything, again, after like 8, 9 o'clock at night, you got to see these. We're coming off of Batman Fever in '89. I watched Batman when it came out, dark as hell, loved it. So I saw the trailer for this and I'm already amped at 10
Wait,
years old.
did you see Batman in the theater?
Yeah.
Okay, good man.
Yeah, no, it was it PG-13 or was it actually
Mm,
PG?
I'll look it up if you give me a second.
Look it up, yeah. But, no, I saw it in theater and I even got it for Christmas as soon as it was on VHS.
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the action figures, everything.
Hmm.
So, Darkman, the reason this movie sticks so much into my core is 1991. My mom, we had the Bristol Mall out here. I think I've took you to it when you were up here.
Is that the one that's all closed down now?
Yeah, the theater was down in the lower part, it flooded, and so that was shut down, but there was only, like, 3 stores open.
I think the last time we were there, they had a little radio controlled car
That
set up,
that's it.
and they jumped the car into into like a wall.
Yeah, so they had that whole part right in front of the old
Yeah.
theater. So, when I was a kid, the mall was the place to go. So, mom would go there, I don't even know if it was once a month. She would go to this woman's clothing place, and obviously, 11-year-old Charlie has no desire to do that. Across the way was a B. Dalton book. And those of you our age may remember B. Dalton's in the malls. I was allowed to go over there, look at books, and don't leave that store. So mom's like, stay there, look at whatever you want. So I would go into the B. Dalton store, and this was '91, and you'll know why I remember it so well. I look at my books, I do my normal perusing, then I go to the magazine rack. Lo and behold, there is an issue on the magazine rack of Fangoria. And on the cover of this magazine is Total Recall with the eyeballs bulging out of Schwarzenegger's face. You want to talk about something that imprints an image on your brain was seeing not only a Fangoria magazine, because that was almost like I know I'm not allowed to look at this. I'm not allowed to watch these movies. So you're looking to see if mom can see you, and you're like, I want to pick that magazine up.
Do they still make Fangoria?
I think they've had a resurgence
Because I
when
think the same company made like what, like Starlog? Because I used to get
yeah,
Starlog.
I think they did Starlog.
Yeah.
So I pick up this copy and you're staring at, Schwarzenegger's face with eyeballs. It could have been the other bad guy though too. It was that grotesque. Up in the top corner said Dark Man's face revealed. And it was the unbandaged face of Dark Man.
Hmm.
The meat, the skin, everything. And I'm like, okay, the total recall thing's actually scaring me a lot, but I start looking at the Darkman one, and I'm flipping through the pages, looking over, flipping through the pages, and I'm looking at everything. I'm taking it all in. I'm loving this sci-fi stuff. And it says the next month's issue was going to be the Darkman issue. So I can't wait to go back to the store. Some reason we did end up going back the next month. And there is the issue of Fangoria, number 96, September 1990. So actually, Fangoria came out in 90, so I was 10. There is Darkman on the full page spread for everyone to see on the magazine rack. And
So
that
what you're telling me is you got that magazine, you went right to the centerfold.
guaranteed. This was better than Playboy. The
Well,
other part that was like made me remember this magazine so much in that same issue was an article on RoboCop 2. And it had the picture of Kane's brain with the eyeballs and the spine hanging down in the glass jar. That burned an image into my brain right there. That just paved the way for me. 1 year later, this is the 91 part, I had a Nintendo. Everyone got those little cards that wanted you to subscribe to Nintendo Power.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Nintendo Power number 27, August 1991, that had the Darkman video game in it. It had the maps.
I don't remember Darkman video game.
Oh, dude. NES video game. I rented the crap out of this thing. I had the maps. I knew the characters, which was Paulie, Skip, Rick, Smiley, Durant. I knew the names. I would draw Darkman, just as in school, just drawing. Never seen this movie. Drawing it, loving this thing. I knew what Darkman was before I ever watched the movie, which I don't think I actually watched till I was like 13, which was right about the age. I think if I'm remembering it right, because these two movies I had to have watched super close together, was I remember watching Army of Darkness with Dad. Dad had rented it. Dad is not a horror movie guy. I know I've said it here before. So the trailer for Army of Darkness.
Well, Army of Darkness isn't.
It is the third movie.
It's not a horror movie though, really.
It's not. It's really not.
It's more of an action movie or an adventure movie, really.
Yeah. So Dad rented it. And matter of fact, I think it's only PG-13, if I remember right.
Batman is, by the way.
Batman is PG-13.
Yes.
So yeah, pretty dark. I mean, it fits. So I remember watching Army of Darkness without knowing what Evil Dead was. I'd never seen it before. And loved that movie. And for some reason, Dad had in his head that, okay, same director, Sam Rami, he remembered the trailers for Darkman, and I want to say we rented it like a couple weeks after.
Army of Darkness was rated R, sir.
Was it R?
Mm-hmm.
They drop the F-bomb in that, don't they?
Yes.
There's no blood in that movie at all, I don't think.
Well, I mean, there's a monicum of Bruce Campbell's face is bloodied up a little bit.
He's bloodied up, but I even think when they killed
they're not like lopping heads off and throwing them on the steps or anything like that. Silly, no.
Even when they killed the Deadite witch in the pit, I don't think it's blood that comes flying up out of there, or it was like goo or something.
Yeah, it's
So
yeah.
I know I remember watching that with Dad, loving it.
You talk about a movie that didn't make any money either. I'm just looking at that.
No, it didn't. People didn't know what to think with it. But Dad went and rented Darkman, and I already knew Darkman. I knew this movie. You couldn't tear me away from that movie. I was glued to it, loved every second of it. It was probably my favorite superhero movie beside Batman. Not above, not below, beside Batman growing up. That's my memory of this, and why this movie is so ingrained into my brain is it's just my favorite. It is literally one of my favorite dark action movies.
Well, Darkman, now that everyone knows why Charlie loves Darkman and that he was a connoisseur of it before he saw the film, let's listen to the trailer.
Who? No foolish heroics, if you please. Is Darkman. destroyed everything he had, all that he loved, everything that he was. Now, crime has a new enemy, and justice has a brand new face.
I was afraid that you wouldn't want me anymore.
Of course I still want you.
The good news is that I know who's behind our little troubles of late. Finish it.
He has the power to look like any man.
These two are both sons of witches!
But he is unlike any man.
I gotta tell you something about me. He's a cockroach. You think you kill him? And he pops up someplace else.
In the darkest hour,
Julie, who's the real monster here?
there's a light that shines on every human being. But one. From director Sam Rami, Darkman.
That is one late 80s, early 90s ass trailer, too, by
I
the way.
love that. I love it. And such a Batman flavor to it. Universal knocked it out of the park for at least promoting this movie. Just flat out.
Well,
Or was it Paramount? Paramount or Universal?
Universal, I want to say. I'm like 99.9% Universal. Let me look real quick for you.
Could be both.
Like I said, I'm 99% Universal on this one. Give me a sec. I'm looking. Renaissance Universal.
Universal. Okay. Which
And,
makes a
looks
lot of
filmed-
sense.
Filmed in California, LA, USA, sir.
It's probably why Sam could get away with such a homage to some early Universal monster flavor, which
Yeah,
this
so-
movie has in spades. sir.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and touch on some of the Easter eggy things, some of the homage, like you can tell, like there was a dash of this, a dash of that got entered in there. Let's talk about those things real quick, and then you can start talking about a little bit of the history
Yep.
of Darkman. So, one of the things, obviously, if you've seen first of all, if you haven't seen Darkman in a while, no big deal. I hadn't seen it, like I said, since about 91 or 2. But there's a real heavy noir feel to this movie. Darkman ends up long with a black. First of all, everyone wears trench coats in this movie. Half the budget of this movie was trench coats, I think.
There's trench coats over trench coats
Yeah,
in this movie.
This should have been called Trench Coat, the movie.
I love it.
He's wearing a long black trench coat with also it's got like the exterior shoulder rain slicker portion that's attached to it.
It's like a mix of a duster, like that
Kinda like
really overdone.
Almost like that old school Sherlock Holmes looking one that he wears with the exterior over the shoulders. That and like and a fedora.
And he finds it in a dumpster.
Yes, he finds it in a dumpster in the middle of a rainstorm. So he wears that, and then everyone else wears long coats as well.
Yes.
But that, a lot of bandage over the face, and because he gets blowed up. He gets his face melted off and he gets blowed up.
Yeah.
So he has a lot of bandages over the face. So there's a lot of elements of Invisible Man.
Yeah.
In the character design of that. When you see the face without the bandaging and stuff, there's a lot of Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, 100%.
But there's a lot of shots in this too with the character design, the makeup design of the face from the cover of Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2. Is it Evil Dead 2? Yeah, with the skull on the front of it.
Yeah, I think
that's got the skull on the front. Yeah,
I think that's the one that did the skull.
So there's a lot of that. I think when I see that, I feel that, and I go, oh yeah, absolutely. You can see the correlations in there.
Oh yeah.
There's 3 big elements right there, all kind of, together in a big pot, just squished together kind of thing.
And I mean, that's just taking the visual
character. Yeah, just the visual character design
so
of Darkman himself.
There is, if you, I mean, since we're on the track of like the universal monster kind of thing, is he's very Jekyll and Hyde in this movie. When he's like in regular face, he's tries to be somewhat calm, but if he gets triggered, it's like straight up Jekyll coming out.
Mhm. Almost
Um,
Hulk, Incredible Hulkish.
yeah, you
Yeah.
you get this rage, which we'll talk
Mhm.
about later, and then you get like the aesthetics all around him are very Frankenstein, with the lab and the electricity, the vat that he gets electrocuted and like melted in. There's like big electrodes coming
Mhm.
off of it. Sam just took everything he probably loved as a kid that influenced him and was like, well, we know he did because we've read the interviews, and he created a character that never existed but felt like it had forever.
Right, and part of the reason too was he wanted Batman.
He wanted Batman and the Shadow.
Right,
He tried
so
to
he
get a Shadow to, I forget what you call it. He had a workup
Oh,
of
yeah,
doing a Shadow, a
right.
treatment. He had a treatment
Mhm.
of the Shadow, and none of the studios would pick it up. And he was one of 3 or 4 directors in the running for Batman. Lost out to Tim Burton. I don't know if we actually lost on that, or I feel like I would love to have seen Raimi's take too. Give me Burton and Raimi side by side, and I think that would have been something pretty amazing. After
Well,
seeing Darkman, I
yeah,
mean,
I
to
mean,
see what
you
he did with Darkman,
once you see Darkman, you get a real good sense of what he would have done with Batman.
I think he would have toned it down a little bit, though.
Yeah, Darkman is very cartoony in a lot of aspects, in a lot of
Yes,
ways,
yes,
and get into when we do our ratings and stuff like that. Get into it more, but there are definite elements of that where you look at it and you see he comic booked the hell out of it in certain aspects,
Y-
certain
y-
things he did, and that's Raimi's style, though. You
and
know it's Raimi's style. I
you
mean, you
can
saw it in Spider Man.
yeah, all the influences from Evil Dead forward to when he did Spider-Man, when when Raimi does a movie, or if Raimi even produces a movie, there's some flavor in there. Now, if you read into read some of the articles and stuff like me and Dan have, he tells everyone that he had Bruce Campbell originally in mind, and the studio didn't have faith in Bruce carrying this type of movie. But you can definitely tell in the writing style that's who he had in mind. So you can picture like
Oh yeah,
Ash from Evil Dead. I'd say Evil Dead 2 more
two,
than the first one.
yeah,
Yeah.
two in Army of Darkness.
Yeah, but this is
Those
before
two
Army of
mixed,
Darkness.
right? But those
So,
two character
oh yeah,
styles,
yeah.
yeah, very much so.
So you can tell it was wrote for a specific actor. Yet Liam Neeson kills it, and as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I even have a hard time picturing this is weird. He is the perfect dark man, although I absolutely love Arnold Vosloo in the sequels. He is like the perfect replacement if we couldn't get Bruce Campbell, which was the intent at the end of this movie.
Well, with Darkman, again, like I said, I'll get into it more towards the end of the reviews. But Liam Neeson in this movie overacts his ass off, and
Yeah,
it works because of it being the way that it was written, filmed, and put together. Like if it wouldn't have been, if the visuals and stuff wouldn't have been over the top, if the way it was edited and put together wouldn't have been the way it was done, then the overacting itself wouldn't have worked. It would have been like cheese. It would have been super cheese and bad. But
yeah.
because of the way that they put it all together, you see what he was trying to do.
The other thing that helps is it wasn't just Liam Neeson overacting in this either.
No, they were all
There
pretty over the
the
top.
the the main bad guy at the end is very over the top
Yeah.
villain. Julie kind of
She
overdoes her roles. Actually, the most composed one is Durant, um, in
Well,
the movie.
yeah, his character is very sullen and very not sullen,
I will say
very
controlled. I have always
yeah.
thought of
He's very
Durant
even keeled,
as
very
he
even keel.
he doesn't let things get under his skin. Like I don't think he even yells until like the end, and I think it's because he's on the helicopter.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's one of those things where we talked about this a little bit. It's a little bit like the character from Shoot 'Em Up, Paul Giamatti's character, where he's supposed to be very composed
yeah,
and even thinking and straight across the board type of thing. But Durant is even more so
right. Because Giamatti
than Giamatti's
slowly
character. Mhm.
starts to lose it at the end of Shoot 'Em Up because
Right.
Clive is the calmest one in that movie. He never, like overdoes anything. He talks the same tone. It's Giamatti that you see slowly getting driven mad. Durant, you can tell, gets irritated more and more, but he's still that even, cool,
Mhm.
cold, calculating killer.
Yeah.
Um, I and to me, Durant is probably in one of my top 10 villains also when it comes to action movies. Um, Larry Drake nailed it. I don't care what anyone says about him as a villain.
Yeah, he delivered exactly what Raimi was going for with this movie.
100%.
He delivered that
Well,
100%.
and the best part in my I didn't watch it. I think Larry Drake played I got to use the right word.
Mhm.
A character a bit incapacitated mentally.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I think it was Law and Order or some show like that. And
Uh,
that's really all he was kind of known for. And for Raimi to see him being able to carry this type of character through, um, I see a lot of vision. So I'm sure the auditions, he was like, okay, I know you from this. Here's your lines. Here's kind of what I'm looking for. Sell me up. Down to the taking the fingers off with the cigar cutter, just the way he delivers everything.
that
He's one of
part, yeah, that was that part's wild,
I
honestly.
love that. You didn't expect it. As a
No.
kid, 13 years old, and I watched this movie, Wednesday with Anthony preparing for it. Jackie was too tired to stay up, and I'm like, well, I got to watch it. Anthony's out of school, so I'm like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this movie. Let's watch it. He couldn't take his eyes off this movie, and I would look at him at certain points, like the wooden leg, and watch him laugh, and then the fingers where he's taking the one guy's fingers off, and he's like point one, point two. He gets ready to cut the third finger, and he goes, "I have 7 more points," and the guy loses his mind. Anthony's just like, "Holy crap!" Just that thought
Yeah,
of imagining
that
what
was a
that would
cool
feel
line.
like. Oh, I love that line.
That was a cool line. Did you know, by the way, that he was also in The Karate Kid?
The first one?
He was listed as Yahoo number 1.
Yahoo number one.
Good luck who the hell that was and what scene that was in. So if anyone sees that and can pick him out, let us know in the group where that was in Karate Kid 1.
Yeah, because aren't all the Cobra Kai characters figured out? Because they were all in the show recently.
Yeah, but I don't think
They
he
were
is.
named
Yeah, I don't think he's one of the Cobra Kais. I think he's just Yahoo number 1.
Yahoo number one.
Whatever the hell that means.
Interesting.
It is indeed. So we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to get into the movie a little bit more by proper, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to play a few of the clips like we always like to do. We are going to get into the world famous body count and world famous Ali Young bit.
He's world famous, sir.
He is indeed. And we will also talk about one other very popular henchman who makes an appearance in this film.
Yes.
You like that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
All right. And then we will finish it up when we come back on Give Me Back My Action Movies. Hey everyone, me again. I just wanted to let you know real quick that I also co-host another podcast, a weekly podcast called the Noka News Network.
I'm Ricky. I also co-host the Noka News Network podcast with you, Dan.
I know you snuck in here on this one, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Everyone, we appreciate everybody listening to Give Me Back My Action Movies, obviously. But if you'd like to listen to news that no one cares about, then check us out at Noka News Network. Ricky, where can they find us?
We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. Or iTunes Podcasts.
Whatever it's called.
However that works.
And you can check us out on Facebook as well. And you can always email us over at newsroom@nokanews.com. And check us out over there. We're having a good time, Ricky.
That's true. We're posting the podcast to our YouTube channel, too. So if you'd rather watch it that way, it's over there. Just search Noka News Network.
And enjoy the news that no one cares about.
It's a good time. I promise.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Give Me Back My Action Movies. Today we're talking about the movie Darkman and Sam Raimi's well, the hell with you, I don't want your damn Batman and the shadows, I'll make my own Batman shadow mix up called Darkman.
You know, you got to say that the studio had to have a crap ton of faith in Raimi to even greenlight a movie like this. There was zero like comic book backing for this, There was no history of this character because it was brand new. He was the Evil Dead guy, which were more popular underground horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
For Universal to go, yeah, man, go for it. Here's 13, 14 million dollars.
14 million bucks. Have a good time.
Yeah. And I know reading it there, this obvious production wasn't without its headaches or strife, or they edited it and they re-edited it. And while Raimi speaks kindly of it, he doesn't speak of it often. So trying to figure out if he's actually proud of it. And it's also probably the reason why we've never gotten he wasn't involved in the sequels. And I
really?
don't know. I'd have to look it up, but someone else took over those. They did it. It feels like that universe though. They paid on, homage to what Raimi built.
Well,
and
at
obviously
point,
Larry Drake was the only actor that even carried over to the other movies.
Well, here at this point, when he made Darkman, the only two that anyone, unless you're a big Raimi fan, would have heard of was Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, which is essentially the same movie.
Yeah, they made the second one because they didn't have the rights to the first one. They lost the rights.
Yeah. So when they gave him $14 million to do Darkman, all he had really done was an Iggy Pop video, Evil Dead 1 and 2, essentially, and then a few shorts. That's all he had done as a director when he was given the reins to do Darkman. And not only, like you said, was it $14 million to do it, but it was directly his idea, his creation, his world. No, like you said, no comic backing, no anything.
No.
I don't remember there being any toys for this.
I don't think they did toys. Now
No.
they did release a comic line when the movie came out.
Right.
So there are 1990 Darkmans that I think it's supposed to kind of fill in a few of the gaps.
Mhm.
I'd have to go back through my collection. I know I've got a few Darkman floating around.
And you know what? In all honesty, he didn't direct a whole lot. He did the Darkman, An Army of Darkness, The Quick and the Dead, A Simple Plan, For Love of the Game, The Gift, the 3 Spider-Man movies, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
He did Drag Me to Hell in 2009.
That's
Oz
awesome.
the Great and Powerful in 2013. He did a few TV series episodes, one of them being Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Obviously.
He did some more short stuff, and he's got in pre-production is the King Killer Chronicle. Announced is World War III, and of course the post-production on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So as a director, Raimi, he doesn't have a ton of credits, honestly.
He really doesn't. And we were talking about this the other day, when you start reading it, you figure out that Raimi has a lot of friends. Like, he's really good friends with the Coen brothers.
He's got a lot of producing credits.
One of the Coens is actually married to Frances McDormand, who plays Julie in the movie. Julie. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yes, and she's most notably known from Fargo.
Yeah, I've seen it. That's best I can tell you.
You got me beat.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it.
There are some movies that everyone raves about, and then I'll watch it, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, I watched it.
So, Darkman, the movie itself, again, I will bring up the fact, and by the time we get to the rating system, you probably have a pretty good idea of how I feel about the movie.
If you can't tell by his tone, you'll start understanding his.
The movie is cheesy. The movie is hokey and cheesy. And what I will say is, if it wasn't Sam Rami, and you knew that's how he does these things, then it would have been very, very schlocky. But
100%.
because you know that Raimi is able to turn that plastic yellow neon cheese into a delicious dipping sauce, that's what you got on this. And we're going to start off the movie with Durant going up to some other gangsters. And these gangsters, I'll play you a couple clips from the interaction. Durant,
he comes up to Eddie Black.
Eddie Black. Durant doesn't say anything.
No.
Until, like you said, the cutting off the finger bit here. So this will give you a little bit of give you some dialogue that'll show you the cheese.
Let me do this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really want to sell the cheese.
Oh,
your most generic waterfront warehouse scene.
Yes.
Durant's guys pull up in sedans of 4-door Fords. I'm pretty sure that Raimi's Delta 88 that's in every movie he does is somewhere in this scene.
Very BS bad guy cars.
Every stereotypical bad guy on the Eddie Black crew that you could imagine. Every one of them have machine guns. Every one of them has shotguns, handguns, pistols.
And everyone's wearing long coats.
Long coat or flannel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And there's like 30 guys.
The very classic hoodlum street tough look.
Yes. So you paint that picture in your brain and then listen to the clip.
I got 3 things to say to you, Durant. 1, I ain't selling my property. 2, nobody muscles Eddie Black, especially a bunch of dinks. And 3, if y'all don't like that, which I can already see you don't, we can cut your balls off. Maybe that'd be more satisfactory to you.
Yeah, dinks. Come on, man.
So
if it's not like 1930s and 40s type of dialogue thrown into this movie, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I think he may be the only bad guy's ever called anyone a dink. So you've got that type of projection going on. And one guy shows up, and they've already tossed all their guns. By the way, when they're checking Durant's men for guns, they find guns, brass knuckles,
everything. Oh,
nunchucks,
I forgot. I was going to say, I totally forgot. Everyone has nunchucks. Yeah, there's bad guys with nunchucks. They pull out nunchucks that were hidden.
Yeah,
nunchucks everywhere.
You don't really see them use them, but they got them.
No one uses a nunchuck, but by God, they are on the floor, and there's like guys in the back swinging them around, which is just flipping hilarious.
And it's ridiculous. So they get all the weapons, presumably from Durant's people. He's got one guy has a real bad limp.
Yeah.
And it comes to find out he has a fake leg. So
his name is Skip.
Yeah, his name is Skip. He's got the bad leg. So here's a little bit more of this award-winning Velveeta style dialogue.
Bum leg?
No leg.
I was engaged to a girl once with a wooden leg.
Yeah? What happened?
Had to break it off.
Yeah.
Every henchman dies laughing, yet Durant's men are just So they all kind of have this like grin, except for the henchman named Smiley, who always smiles. And I know you know where you've seen Smiley from.
Oh yeah, it's Raimi's brother.
No,
No, that's Rick.
that's Rick.
That's
Smiley is
Rick.
the one that's going to grab the gun. Long
All
hair.
right, let me.
No, don't you look it up.
I'm gonna have to.
No, don't you look it up.
Okay, so he's played his name. The character's name is, or the actor's name is Dan Bell.
Come on, man. Come on. We've already made a reference in this episode about the movie that he's in.
Wayne's World.
Yes.
He's Neil.
Yes.
Which one was Neil? He's one of the group, right?
Yeah, he's not the drunk one or the one that says I love you. He's the other guy.
Okay, so he's kind of like the normal of the three.
If you want to use that phrase.
Well, what else you going to do?
We straight up did the diddle-doo. So it's like, yeah, that's Neil from Wayne's World, man. I mean, I see him and that's like, that's freaking Wayne's World right there.
Yeah,
but
when I picked him out,
his name is Smiley. That's his name in the movie.
So they end up having a thing where they kill everyone but Eddie. And that's where because he counted I got 3 things to tell you, thing. So that's why Durant pops off his fingers with a cigar cutter and goes, after 3, he goes, I've got 7 more points to make.
I know we're not a synopsis, but man, I have to say this. They kill everyone and they only had a machine gun in the wooden leg until they killed enough guys to pick up the other guns.
The best is the wooden leg. Skip is sitting there jumping up and down after Smiley shoots everybody, and then sticks out his right arm like a perch, so Skip can grab a hold of it and stand there.
Yeah, so everyone's dead. Skip is hopping, and Smiley's standing next to Durant, just kind of holding the gun up. Doesn't see Skip, but hears him and sticks his arm out straight, and Skip grabs hold of it.
Did you notice too? Everyone with a machine gun holds it in their crotch and shoots at everybody. In this movie, Smiley,
it's
all
firing.
of the Hinchies, they're crotch firing. They put all the machine guns in their crotch, and they're like with the machine guns. So that, like, obviously they're just beating the crap out of their bean bags at that point. But like none of them. The only person that aims in the entire movie is Durant.
Rick.
Well,
Rick does the one.
Well, he didn't really. It
was point blank. So, but we'll call it.
Yeah, he ventilated the guy. So
we'll call it aiming.
Yeah. So, but like the only person that actually uses the sights and aims is Durant in the entire movie. It's hilarious.
But this just sets you up for what you're in store for in this movie.
Yeah, that's the opening scenes.
I love it so much, man.
So, Darkman, Liam Neeson's character is he's a scientist. And he's trying to make artificial skin.
Yep.
And he gets it to the point where after 99 minutes of light, the skin dissolves.
Yes.
In the dark, it would stay.
And it takes them a while to figure that out, but they figure it out in the course of the movie that the power goes out and the skin goes past 99 minutes.
Right. So he is making this. That's what he's working on, and that's why he has a lab and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
His girlfriend is
Julie.
Is she a lawyer or an accountant?
She is an attorney.
Yeah. So she's working for the bad guy who's trying to make Delta City. I mean, he's trying to make this other city thing.
Oh, there are RoboCop flavors in this movie, sir. We can't even hide it.
He's making Delta City.
He's making Delta City.
He's making this big city of the future, and she comes across this memorandum showing bribes and payouts and stuff. So the guy's like, I did it. I don't give a rat's ass. Essentially, is what he tells her.
He was like, so nonchalant about it. Like, I have to pay things off. If you have the letter, just leave it here and I'll make it disappear. And she's like, I don't have it with me. And he's like, well, that's a shame.
Yeah. So now he sends Durant to go find the letter. She's not home, but Liam Neeson is. So
she was staying at Peyton's apartment, which I guess is right at the lab. and
Yeah.
that's where she had left all the paperwork, because he makes that comment that they should get married, live together, and she like
And
she is a weird
she's like,
character,
nah. It's
and
a
I'm going to
weird
dig in.
written character.
We got to get past that a little bit here, but here in a little bit, it gets really weird.
It's a weird written character, man.
Um,
I think the whole movie's strangely written, honestly, but
but it works.
but it does. It's
Yeah.
weirdly written. I'm telling you right now. Here, okay, the movie should be garbage,
But it's not.
but it works.
Yeah.
So so Durant and his men show up. They kill Liam Neeson's assistant,
Yeah.
and Neeson he freaks out.
Well, I
Big
mean, they
rat,
got
real
his
bad.
head wrapped in a plastic bag to try and bully him, and then he has Sam Raimi's brother blow a hole through his head, point
Yeah.
blank.
Yeah, he ventilates him.
Just
So essentially, through all of this, they finally find the document, and at this point, Liam Neeson's hands have been melted off and electrocuted. His face has
Yep.
been melted real bad and electrocuted. So then they rig the place with explosive gas, and it just says explosive gas on the canister, by the
oh
way.
yeah, every canister says exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Acid, explosive gas.
Yeah, very 1960s Batman style. And so Durant then leaves a cigarette lighter with the bird. You know, the bird that goes, has the water in the butt and goes twink, twink.
I think it's just called the drinking bird or something like that. Yeah,
If you've seen Alien
you know
or
what it is.
Aliens, you've seen the bird.
Yep.
So he leaves that in there, and it finally hits the thing and explodes and blows up the thing right as she's getting home, and which is cool. And then you get another big injection of Velveeta as Liam Neeson comes screaming up out of the fire, going, "Ah!" He's getting blown out of the building. It's pretty.
He's
bad.
screaming and goes flying through the air into
Over
the
her head,
harbor.
into the-
Over
yeah, into
her
the
head.
building.
She doesn't see it, but
Yeah.
the whole shot is his body flying over her head while he's screaming and lands in the harbor.
Right in the
And
drain.
she's just like staring at this blown up bill. Her hair she's close enough, her hair goes blowing back. But yeah, she's Peyton.
Yeah, it's this whole thing. So he gets blown
Yeah.
up. She thinks he's dead. He ends up coming back, but now he doesn't have any sensation, any kind of external feeling. He can't feel
Okay.
anything textile wise.
So he's found, and the next time we see him, he's in the hospital, and they're treating him like a homeless John Doe. He's fully bandaged, and the doctor's going over this whole spiel about he's burned over like 90% of his body, and he would be in insane amount of pain, but they do a procedure where they cut the nerve endings and kill his entire sense of sensations, touch, emotion, everything. She has to even say it causes augmented strength, which comes into play throughout the movie, and it could drive a person mad, which is why he's restrained. And he breaks free of that. His mind kind of comes to, and he breaks the restraints, jumps out the window, and he's gone into the night. If you watch the sequels, the doctor comes back in the third one because she convinces Darkman that she can reverse the procedure and make him normal again, that he can feel, but she actually ends up being like in cahoots with the
She's a
the
villain.
main bad guy. She ends up the villain,
a
but you're not
villain.
expecting it. So yeah, that's how we get Darkman. That's where the powers come from. His insanity, everything is because he has zero sensations of anything except like madness.
So he uses all that and decides that he's now going to go after vengeance and the people that caused this, while still trying to perfect and work on the liquid skin so he can basically wear a mask and look normal, because his face is very Phantom of the Opera. You know, very holes in the face, everything else.
There's holes. You see muscle structure. You see part of his skull in his forehead. It's think about Two-Face in The Dark Knight,
but a lot more Halloween rubber mask.
I'm not going to say that because I think the special effects in this movie hold up.
For 90s, okay, but it's super rubber mask. There's some super rubber masky
Man,
parts
I
in
don't
it.
know. I have to.
There is,
No,
dude.
come on,
There really
no,
is, dude. It's super. The
no,
jawline, the part with the mouths we can see in there, it's super rubber masky.
no. I don't. I do not agree with that whatsoever.
Well,
I now
that's all right. You're insane. So it's okay.
there is one scene though, since we can talk about the special effects, is when he does make that hand when he's trying to copy Paulie, the bald guy,
Mhm.
and he's typing on the computer. So you have like the normal hand, and then like the burnt skeletal looking flesh on the other hand as he's typing away on the. I love that shot. I just love that. Here's me normal. Here's what I really am underneath, and it's so Sam Raimi. It just screams Evil Dead in that entire segment.
So he does all that, and he goes after it and starts killing them one by one until he can kind of, get his vengeance and such.
He builds his lab in an abandoned factory again, which looks like the factory from RoboCop.
Yes, it does.
Straight up.
And
And
and during the process of all this, so he finally makes his face and goes back to Julie and tries to work it out with her, but he can only be there for 99 minutes. He's telling her he's going back to
yeah,
the hospital and trying to fix it all. And he's having moments where he has these meltdowns and everything else. And she comes and finally he's like, hey, because she sees the face starting to melt and she freaks out and she's like, look, you've got to, you should have come to me. We would have worked on this. We would have done it. And he just hides from her.
she
and stuff.
tries to be. So here's where I want to interject this thing about Julie. That she starts dating the main villain.
Well, she thought he was dead, dude. She thought Darkman was dead and the main villain was smooth and acted like he gave a shit enough, and she had no idea he had anything to do with the death. She thought it was a
No,
lab accident.
but he pretty much admitted to bribing. He tells her who Durant is and how bad of a guy Durant actually is. So he's like very like, yeah, I'm a bad
Scumbaggy.
guy. Yeah, he's very like, I'm the villain in everything he tells her. Yet she sleeps with him later, and
Yeah,
we
but
don't see that. But
he's more of a white collar villain at that point. He's like, yeah, I'll bribe people if I have to.
oh,
I
he's
got a guy.
OCP.
I got a guy that will do some little bit of strong arming when I have to make this big super city. But he's not like, hey, I'm gonna have people blown up and effing kill them. He doesn't go that far. So she's distraught. She thought it was a lab accident. He's taking nice care of her. He's helping her out, trying to get her
Yeah,
over the grief. They hook
it's
it up.
still
Yeah,
just never set well with me because
yeah, it's well,
you're like, come on.
sometimes when the ex-wife or the ex-girlfriend or whatever moves on to somebody else in one of these movies, it doesn't make much sense. Like sometimes you go, for example, you got this one movie where like the ex-wife divorces the husband because of who he is and what he does, and then she goes to marry someone just like in the action blockbuster Backdraft. Rebecca De Mornay, she divorces Kurt Russell, who's a fireman, and then marries another fireman. It just doesn't make any sense.
You had me
So
till
I'm
action
with you.
classic on that.
It was. It
And
was
Rebecca well, I can't say that Rebecca Dorme. She was in Three
three-
Musketeers.
yeah. Well, Kurt Russell was in a bunch of action movies.
Kurt Russell was in a bunch of action
Jason
movies.
Gedrick's in it. He was Iron Eagle.
Yeah.
So
That doesn't just because they were in an action movie doesn't make it an action movie, sir.
no, the action is what makes it an action movie. All the explosions and fire and the fight
Fire.
scenes and everything.
Ooh, the building's
Explosion.
on fire. Explosions have to have like rocket launchers involved.
No, they don't.
Why not?
Because
That's actiony.
no,
Oops, I lit a match.
anything exploding is that's an action movie. There's suspense. There's action in it. There's fight scenes with axes.
That no, you're gonna no.
No, that's an action movie. That's an action movie. So
Blown Away was an action movie because there was explosives involved.
There was explosives in this.
They were
The guy rigs the explosions to occur. That's
yeah,
what a
but they were
backdraft is.
more
a
like
smoke explosion.
They were fire bombs that started a fire, and then everything got hot
Actually,
enough to
They
explode.
didn't even start the fire. They actually designed to the fire went out. Never mind. You need to watch it. Anyway, so
Yeah.
in this movie, he goes out and he's fighting all the bad guys, but he's trying to win Julie back, and she finds out that he's really, really messed up still. She realizes he lives in this place. she doesn't have a full feel of what his face looks like at this point or anything, but she
No,
did
she
see
hasn't seen
the
it. No.
mask bubbling and stuff, so she knows there's an issue. But while he's with her at the fair, he sees this bit where they have a freak show going on.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, $5, come look at this freak, whatever. So he starts to have a meltdown in the foundry that he's in, basically. And this, so I'll play a clip, kind of the madness that he's going through at this point.
That's a good way to put it.
What am I? Some kind of a circus freak? Is that it? Is that it? Some kind of a freak? Maybe I should be wearing a funny little hat. Do you like it? Yeah? Yeah? See the dancing freak. Pay $5 to see the dancing freak. Only $5 to see that dancing freak. Just $5.
At that point, he starts freaking out. There's a cat that lives there with him.
He's
talking to the
He's
cat.
singing to the cat.
He's losing his mind. He's dancing around in circles with a big funnel on his head. He's losing his mind.
It's straight up Tin Man funnel on his head.
Yeah,
and he
really
starts dancing around
at that point. Yeah, he's got some issues.
That's the psychosis part. So one of the little things we've kind of glazed over here is he's taking out Durant's crew and causing a lot of dissension because he's making masks of these guys and going out as them. So
Paulie was the one, right?
Paulie's first. He does.
Paulie's a very Luca Brodsky looking character type.
Man,
of character.
He is. He's got the bald head, so you always know who he is in the scene. He's got a dagger tattoo, like it's going through his skin, real small.
Did you notice that the mask he makes, it's on the wrong side?
Yeah, yeah. So you
sure
have
it's on purpose.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is if
he took a photo of him, so when he put the photo in the machine,
that's a good point.
Flipped it. Yeah.
Because, you normally if you see something flipped in a movie, it's because they did the negative the opposite way. And that's a common error that happens in movies. Like the mole on their face will flip once in a while. But he kills Paulie using a face mask, but we didn't get a drop for this, but my favorite kill is when he kills Rick, Sam Raimi's brother. And he captures Rick and tortures him by taking him into the sewer, going up to a manhole, and starts waving the dude's head around the whole upper torso as cars are coming by. Drops him back down, and Rick finally spills the beans, tells him everything he needs to know about Durant, the money drops, all this stuff. And he goes, "Hey man, I told you everything." And then Liam Neeson, Darkman goes, "Yeah, well, let's pretend you didn't," and stuffs him back up through the manhole as a truck comes running through and runs over his whole upper torso. I love that scene. I had to look at Anthony when that scene came on, and his eyes and mouth were open. He's very rubber dummy looking as far as the Sam Raimi.
Very much so, yeah.
Although good. I mean, when you think about it, they did a really well likeness of Ted Raimi. You could definitely tell it's him.
That's who it's supposed to be, yeah.
But it's there's his head's not moving. Every time the torso moves, the head goes the same direction. So it's very mannequin-ish. And then the truck, there's no blood really in this movie.
No, not really, no.
There's really not. Durant takes fingers. There's no blood from the fingers.
You don't ever see that. You don't ever. You see one scene where he's got a collection of the fingers, but they're all clean.
They're dried out. Yeah, he always takes the fingers. He took the lab assistant's fingers. He did. Now I guess that's kind of a point, is he didn't take Westlake's because he had burnt his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So there was nothing to take. Now, this is strictly theory. And again, I've been a fan of this movie for a very, very long time. And this isn't in IMDb. This isn't on a lot of things. Again, I got to pick the right word. Durant comes off very homoerotic in this movie. He's always taking fingers. There is a slight relationship you pick up between him and Rick is he's very worried about where Rick disappears to. He gets super mad at Paulie because he gets like a plane ticket that Darkman set up for them to run away together. And he gets super mad. And then Eddie Black makes a comment of, I guess I'll chop all your junk off, but you may get a kick out of that. There is a very faint underlying, and the more you watch it, Dan's looking at me because he's only watched it twice.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on any of that.
Watch the movie. I didn't either at first till I read one of the articles that talk about this. And when you do kind of go back through, it's not blatant. It's not like directly in your face, but there's subtleties where you're like, damn, I kind of have to look at this a little bit different. But they're there. I mean, if you watch it with that in mind, it's in there. Very subtle. Very subtle.
I didn't pick up on any of that. But yeah, like you said, I've only seen it twice.
You've seen it twice. I watch it yearly. I
Yeah.
watch all 3 of them yearly. So I love the movie.
The thing, so a couple of things in Darkman that once he's taken care of Durant and he's now going after the main bad guy because he's got Julie.
Julie!
Yes, Julie. They go. God, so annoying. They go to this high rise as part of this city complex that this guy's building.
Very Batman.
And they're up there fighting on it, and that's when the main bad guy starts to lose his mind kind of and getting real over the top. And Julie finally sees his face and everything, and she, he says like, "Who's the real monster?" kind of thing. And
this is classic villain monologuing as well.
He monologues very badly, and then he starts shooting. Then he starts shooting a hot rivet gun from his crotch again at Darkman, trying to hit him and knock him off of the.
Kills his own henchman too, that's holding on to Julie.
Yeah, you don't care about that guy. He pops that dude real quick. So as he finally starts to get ready to fall off the girder, Darkman grabs him and he's like, "You can't very, very classic bad guy. You can't let go of me. It's not in your nature. It's not what you do. You're not a killer." Blah blah blah. And Darkman, this last 10 minutes of the movie, is really. See, I kind of need to see the second and third one now because this to me is where the whole movie's origin story until about the 10-minute mark, because he makes this comment.
I'm learning to live with a lot of things.
And drops him.
And drops him at this point and kills him. So along with that, and then the very last line of the movie, you finally get the fact that he now realizes who he is. He's not Peyton anymore.
No,
he's not going to be the scientist. He's not going to win the love of Julie, even though he helps her down the tower, and she kind of tries to love him.
She wants to.
Yeah,
she's
like,
trying to.
We got this, and he's like, I look like a burnt up weenie roast, So the whole thing. So as they get back down. The lights of the city come back up. It's daytime now.
Yeah.
She's finally like, she's trying to make it work, and he goes to dip out, and they're in a busy street now of all this stuff. And it's my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And because she gets ready to leave, and he has this whole monologue, this voiceover monologue that he does.
Yeah.
Which I'll play for you. But she's looking for him, can't find him. She's trying to find anyone with like a dark suit on. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? And it's not him. And it finally shows someone looks like they're putting a face on. You're kind of fixing a mask or whatever, and turns around, and it's Bruce Campbell.
I love it.
A very young Bruce Campbell.
Super young.
And it's Bruce Campbell, and and he's got this very Bruce Campbell shit-eating grin look on his face too, which is awesome.
He's kind of bringing his hand down over his face, like kind of revealing that it's not him. Now, I'll fill you in here in a little bit once you're done on that ending.
Yeah, so that part is super fabulous to me. But this is the VO monologue that he does at this point.
I'm everyone and no one. Everywhere. Nowhere. Call me Darkman.
Batman.
Yeah, well, at that point, from the I can live with stuff now and Darkman, he's now fully embraced the anti-hero persona that he is. If it would have been that, I really dig that aesthetic.
So, the ending of that, particularly with Bruce Campbell, was Sam Raimi's original intent was the next movie to be Bruce Campbell starring in it.
As
He
Darkman.
he figured when he was filming it, like, this movie's gonna solidify my choices. I want Bruce Campbell being the face of Peyton Westlake later. So that's kind of why they even show that he changed
Like
into someone.
he's pulling the mask on
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
So that was Sam Raimi's original intent. Unfortunately, it did only turn into a cameo. Fortunately, the other sequels took over by Arnold Vosloo, which was The Mummy from the Brendan Fraser series. He's also in Hard Target, probably one of my favorite roles he's done, as well as The Darkmans, and he kills it. So, turning back on what you said, that you need to see the sequels don't tell you nothing about the backstory.
Yeah, well.
No.
No.
You pretty much pick up. So, being that we're probably not going to do those,
I'm okay with not knowing the backstory at that point because I've got all the backstory in the first movie. I've got all the origin story that I really needed. Now I want him to I just want to see him being a faceless force of vengeance kind of thing is kind of what I want to see at that point, because that last 10 minutes he's like, I'm not a scientist anymore. I'm not going to be loved by this person. Now I'm Darkman. And you're like, cool. Now he's just going to go out and just F people up.
Not really. So
yeah.
I'm just going to stop you right there.
Yeah,
I'll save what I was.
That's what I assumed by the Popeye look on your face.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, that's nothing like what the sequels do. While they are awesome and I love them, that's not where it goes. And the thought I was going to have, I'll actually save for the body count because that fits.
So essentially, what you're telling me
that.
right now is I never have to watch any of these movies again.
Not for the show, but for fun. You ought to. I mean, the version
I
bought all three. And here's the I swear.
It sounds to me like I'm not even going to like the other two because it's not going to give me what I want.
Arnold Vosloo's awesome in them.
Well, that's fine. He can do good, but it's not the story that I want. I don't care at that point. I want him to just be a faceless, form of vengeance. And
so I'm going to keep repeating this one thing, and I know I've said it in several. So I have these on DVD, and they're not like super great quality, but they're awesome on DVD. I tried to watch them in my Xbox, and my Xbox said no. It just said no, no, no. So I actually rented this on Amazon just like you did. And it's obviously in HD.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you lose so much when you watch this movie in HD. You lose the grit and the darkness that this movie had on VHS and the earlier copies, because there's a whole alley scene when he's finding all of the outfits. It's wet, it's rainy.
Yep.
It's too clear. It feels like he's on a set, and I'm so distracted because now I can see every puddle and every brick in the wall, and that's not what I want to focus on. I want to focus, because when it was filmed, it was very much to keep Darkman in your focus. Everything else was supposed to just be kind of grain and lost in the background, and I'm watching this in high def going, I wish I was watching this on VHS right now. I wish there was an option. Give me high def, but go, do you want to see it kind of grainy? Click here. You want to watch it super clear? We fix everything? Click here. Because I want to click the grainy part on these movies, man.
It's like listening to albums.
Yeah.
Obviously, a DVD copy is super clear and sounds right, unless of course they've produced it a certain way and to make it sound.
And there's differences on that,
but like if you listen to, for example, the Beatles' White Album, if you listen to it on vinyl, on an original, even the newer vinyl still has depth of sound to it because of the medium itself. But if you listen to an old school vinyl album and you've got the clicks and pops and all the noises and stuff as you're listening to it, that is very different than listening to a DVD.
Are you channeling Nicolas Cage in The Rock right now?
No.
Because that's what he's listening to, and he makes that exact same. Carla would never approve. That's why I had it sent to the office.
I don't
It's
know. I've seen The Rock
it's
like
it's
twice, I
the
think.
it's the Beatles White Album, and he got an original pressing delivered to the office, and the other guy's like, just buy the CD for like $9.99, and he goes, "You lose something in the CDs,
Well,
man."
you do. You absolutely do, though. No,
And,
I think I've only seen maybe The Rock once all the way through.
and later, when the office bomb doesn't go off, they send him home early, and he's sitting there listening to the White Album. Anyway, it was just funny. You picked the White Album as your one to suggest, and I went, The Rock,
Oh,
Nicolas
yeah.
Cage.
Yeah, that's one of the albums that I think. Well, actually, I think any of the classic Beatle albums lose something in the translation over to a digital remastered copy from the original pressings.
I
Because
don't like the
when I
Beatles
first
anyway.
when I first listened to the Beatles, it was on original vinyl pressings or reel to reel even. So then listening them over to them on a clean classic, fresh, crisp digital copy is just, there's something to it. It just loses translation.
Aside from like a handful of songs, I never got into the Beatles.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand you.
You think
But
Backdraft is an action movie, so that explains everything.
yeah, but it is.
It's not.
If you go to IMDb and look it up, it's listed as an action movie.
Because what else do they put? Romantic comedy? I don't know.
No, it's not that. That's for sure.
Well, it ain't an action movie either.
You also don't think that Top Gun's an action movie.
It's not.
But Iron Eagle is.
Yes.
How? What's the difference?
Action.
There's no action in Iron and Top Gun.
It what, like 15 minutes of
What?
jet play? It's a love story between him and Val Kilmer the entire time.
You're so repressed. So if you look
How dare you, sir?
If you look at
How
Backdraft,
dare
it
you?
says action, crime, drama. First thing, action.
Somebody slipped with the key thing, because I have always called Backdraft a crime drama.
Well, yeah.
Drama.
It's an action movie.
It's
All action movies are is drama with worse acting and a lot more explosions.
We'll take a poll.
Yeah. So
You
that
can't
is
cry.
that. Do what?
I said you can't cry when you lose, because we're
I
going to
cry
take
when
a
I watch
poll.
I cry when I watch Backdraft.
Well, I
Yeah.
take that back. There's probably some action movies I cry at the end of.
Yeah, Backdraft. So
No.
you get teary eyed when Goose dies and Top Gun.
Heck no, I'm cheering half the time. Of the 2 times I've watched Top Gun.
Yeah, you got issues. So Darkman. Do you want to do the body count?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about Darkman, because we didn't talk about him killing all the henchies, how he had a trench coat under a trench coat when he killed Smiley,
Okay.
which was
you wanna
hilarious.
You want to talk about a Henchy real quick on Darkman?
Yeah.
What famous Henchy is in Darkman?
Professor Sub-Zero.
That is correct, sir.
Oh, man. It's such a small role, but he's such a big dude, you can't miss him.
Professor Toru Tanaka is Chinese warrior number 2 when he goes to Chinatown. Darkman is wearing the face of
Durant
and goes to Chinatown, and Professor Tanaka is there.
That is a great scene too. Because he's going to collect from the Asian part of town.
Well, they're going to Chinatown. They say Chinatown.
And
yeah.
They're like, we don't have money to pay you.
Do they actually ever say where this takes place? What city? Or is it just supposed to be city?
I think Raimi actually did it very kind of Gotham-like, where it's
just city,
not a real place. It's just
right.
the city.
Because it's got a lot of LA and San Francisco both kind of feels to it.
Yeah, there's a harbor.
It's just supposed to be city.
There's also like a very New York kind of vibe whenever you go like in the alleyways and the subway, stuff like that.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
So that whole scene, since we're talking about Professor Takanura, he is being strong-armed by the Asian gang, and it's Peyton wearing this Durant mask. So he's trying to act like Durant. So obviously he tries to mimic their voices. Kinda. They do play.
They use the regular actor's voice.
Well, that is. They're not rubber masks. They are the actor. But again, the range these guys have. Play you, but not you. When he does Paulie, I love when he does Paulie. So he's trying to figure out how to be a badass and not look like a weakling amongst his own henchmen that are like staring at him like, you gonna let this guy talk to you? So he pulls out a cigar and he pulls out his cutter. So obviously we're already going, okay, the cutter's out. Is he going to actually try and cut someone's finger off? He walks around and sits down at the main Asian dude's desk and he goes, you have until the time I finish this cigar to come up with the money that we're owed. And pulls the cigar in and cuts it down to like an inch and a half and then lights it and then holds the lighter under his own hand because it's the fake skin for like a solid
And
30
he
seconds.
couldn't feel real pain anyway, so it wouldn't make a difference.
He couldn't feel pain. It was the fake skin. Like even his own henchmen are like, holy shit, boss. And this Asian dude's like, we'll get you the money right now. You know, just very like, okay, yep, we'll take care of this. Again, just it's Larry Drake playing Westlake playing Durant, which I think is fantastic. And then I love my trench coat because he is wearing Smiley's face and he's killing other guys. And the Smiley thinks he kills Westlake because he's wearing Peyton's real face, pulls it off, and it's one of the other henchmen with his duct tape mouth under the mask. And then he turns around and he's staring at himself, which is just freaking hilarious. And as soon as he's done with that, you see him pull the disguise off. So he takes off this brown long coat, and there's a black trench coat right underneath it as he takes off running through the warehouse.
Isn't it's Rudy in it, the one he ends up killing and putting the face on?
The Hispanic guy, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Rudy.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, well, once Rick is killed, he's like number 2. Because he's the one that throws Paulie out the window. He's doing the money drops and all that stuff. But so he puts a mask on him with duct tape showing through the mouth, but Smiley shoots him. But that scene where Smiley's looking at himself is just creepy as all get out too. Because the dude already has like this creepy wide-eyed look. So they do that like double screen with the mirror where you can see each other. And Westlake's version of him is even more insane, like Jokerish. And does he like choke him out or like grab him by the head or something and pop his head? It's off screen.
He does something to him. I can't remember. He like chokes him or something.
Yeah, he does it off screen. But the very next scene is you see like the brown coat go flying and Peyton's running with a black trench coat on.
Wearing his Darkman coat. Yep.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, I'm done talking about the movie. Go watch it. It's
if you haven't seen it, see it.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, see it.
If you have seen it, you know whether you like it or not. That's kind of how divisive this movie is.
Yeah, and like I
said, you will like it or not. That's really how it goes. I haven't seen it in
so long that watching it again, I was 100% down for. Let's do body count, and then we will go into the ratings and talk about it. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Body count. Body count. Body count. Body count.
All right, Charlie, what is the body count of Darkman?
Okay. So I always try to find a little something extra other than just telling everybody the numbers. So the number for this movie, Darkman, is 39, but there's an asterisk. It's technically 38 because in Darkman 2, The Return of Durant didn't die. He is in a coma in the second movie and just comes back to life, starts going back to crime, and starts hunting down Darkman.
Well, that's what happened. So happens when you bounce him off of an underpass in a helicopter.
Yeah, so dude's in a helicopter, blows up, yet wakes up from a coma, no scars, no damage, just, I'm awake now, I do crime. That's Darkman 2.
Isn't that kind of what Seagal did in that one movie?
Don't say his name. I just got him out of the shop.
That's kind of what he did. I'm just
I
saying.
I'll send you more YouTube videos of him singing. Oh my god, dude.
I love that drum, that
Dude.
drum shot. So good.
You promised.
All right.
So
now
it's 38 is our body count with an asterisk
38.
because Durant comes back. He does die in the second one, which is why it's the third Darkman is Die Darkman Die.
Okay.
There you go. That's the body count.
Now let's get into the world famous Allion segment.
Yes.
1 to 5 Allions. You know what? Someone had mentioned to me that we should change it to a 1 to 10 Allion system so we have a little more leeway and wiggle room in there for nuances of movies.
I could see that, but I also feel like it's
I
just
can do it, but I can't do it now because I haven't started thinking about that. I'm still
I
in the
don't know
5
if I
Allion system.
I don't know if I want to do 10 though, because I feel like it's just things are just going to get lost when you start going, it's 7 3/4 or no, I like the 5 because I think it really makes me choose. You're hung up on, well, if this movie is a 4.5, this other movie that I don't like it near as much, can't be a 4.5. I think there's levels of 4.5, which is why I'll give movies multiple ratings.
Yeah, it's 4.5 or 4.5. 4.5 is its own level.
Yeah, but there's still a movie that I can feel like, yeah, I feel like this is definitely more than 4 and it's not quite 5, so it's 4.5. But
That's fine.
if I have 5 movies that are 4.5, there's probably a movie in those that I prefer over the other 4.
Well, that's
Therefore,
okay.
there is a tier.
Yeah, that's all right. You can have 4.5. You can have your favorite of the 4.5s.
That's why I don't mind the 5 because I feel like there's 6 subcategories.
I have more than one 5 and more than one 4.5 and more than one 4s
Yeah.
and stuff like that too. But when I break down to going, say, kung fu movie versus kung fu movie. If this one I like over here is a 4 and a 5, 4.5 rather, 4.5, and this one over here isn't nearly, I don't like it nearly as much as this other one, then it's got to be under 4.5 at that point. If I like them equally, then it can be a 4.5 as well.
But see,
That's how I vote them.
I think we can still break it down into quarters. I think we can do like 4.25, 4.5.
I guess you can if you want to. Yeah, we never really specified that, so I guess
we've done the halves.
We've done some halves. Yeah, we've done halves. Have we done quarters?
I want to say we did early on that we said we could. I don't think we've done it yet.
You need to go back and start listening to all the Allions so we can start keeping a running page.
I do listen to our show after it goes live.
Well, I know, but you need to go back and listen to each one of them so we can make a whole thing and make a running.
All right, I will
list.
start a list because there are a few other podcasts I listen to that they actually they try to figure out their lowest ranked movie, which is kind of funny. So I will do that. I will start going back through and list our Allions.
Yeah, just we can list them on there because I can't remember where everything's been listed at.
I'll make an Excel sheet. Let's do that.
You know how to do that?
No.
Okay. So have Jackie do that for you.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I know. All right. So what would you give?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. You can go first if you want to. Or I can go first. You've got a beverage in your hand.
Go ahead.
Okay, so with Darkman. Again, I don't remember watching it as a kid. I don't remember having any kind of strong ties to it from when I was younger.
Yeah.
I know I had seen it. I know it's a Rami. I know all those things about it. I remember the noir look of him, which I really like that aesthetic. Very Darkwing Duck. I'm into it. So I was cool with watching this again. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll watch this. And I'm watching it, and half the time I'm watching it, I'm trying to watch it objectively, to do a podcast about an objective perspective of the movie. And I'm going, wow, he's overacting. She's overacting. That graphic is insane. That's kind of dumb the way they did that. The writing's not very good. That looks like a rubber mask. X, Y, and Z as I'm watching it. And I'm getting to about 3/4 of the way through the movie and going, this is really kind of crap. And then I go, wait a minute, this is Raimi. I know this is what Raimi does. All right, so let me reevaluate watching this, knowing this is like, I like Kevin Smith stuff. I know a lot of people think Kevin Smith stuff is crap. I get that. So that's when I started backing up and going, okay, let me watch this in a different mindset now. A different mindset of this is Raimi making a semi over the top comic book movie
Yeah.
with a very dark thread throughout. And I started watching it. And I come to the conclusion that it's obviously a cult classic. I get it. It made pretty good money when it came out. Made about 3 times its money, so that's pretty good. And then I'm watching it going, if this wasn't Raimi, this movie would have got hammered. If it wasn't a Raimi movie, it would still be considered crap today, I think, because of all the way it's put together. But if you look at it, you know, like I said, the overacting worked because of the way it was edited. The really kind of goofy, when he has his middle flip outs, the goofy imagery and stuff that happens to it, it works because of the overacting. So it all kind of works together. So as I'm watching it, I go, this is not done very well. Some of the schlocky bits of it, I would sit back and go, if this was anything else, it would be ridiculous. But because I know what he was going for, how he put it together, he took ridiculous elements and combined them together to make a movie that, if you have not seen it, I recommend you see it. Absolutely recommend you see it. Because there's movies out there that I like that others don't like. I get that. Like The Shadow. I like The Shadow. It's not very
I
good.
enjoy The Shadow.
Yeah. It's not a very good movie.
It's really
at the end of the day. I enjoy it. The Phantom. Again,
I enjoy
not
The
a
Phantom.
not a very good movie, but I enjoy it.
Love me some Billy Zane.
The action classic Backdraft. Fabulous movie. Love it. Some people don't. I get it. I get all that. So when you put it all together and you watch it, I'm giving Darkman a 3 Al Young rating.
That's pretty high. That's higher than I thought you were going to give it.
Well, like I said, I don't think it was horrible. I think for what it was supposed to be, I think he achieved what he wanted to achieve making the movie. I think his vision and his creativity came across in what he was trying to produce.
I think enough of Sam Raimi made it through. Now, if you read some of his interviews, he feels like he left a lot on the table.
Well, the Coens helped him do some doctoring. They're in the movie, by the way.
Yeah, the Coens are in it.
And so is John Landis.
John Landis is actually in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like when you try to figure out how Raimi landed something like this.
That's his Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in the film, like Kevin does.
That's your Kevin Smith eye right there.
Yeah, for sure.
But when I watch this movie, I'm gonna I weigh heavy on the nostalgia because
sure
when I watch
I don't have that connection.
No,
I
and
can't bump it.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
But when I watch this movie, I'm immediately transported back to being about 13 years old watching it again. I have a grin on my face in all the over the top. I call his like mental breakdowns like the Willy Wonka scenes.
There's some Wonka-ish to that. Yeah.
Like when they go through the tunnel, that's exactly kind of how he looks like. The visuals. And I think I appreciate it more because Raimi always does that. All the way through his movies. I mean, the most iconic one that I can ever remember of his recent is Spider-Man 2, when they're trying to remove Doc Ock's arms off of his back and the arms come to life. If that's not Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, and Darkman all rolled up into a scene.
Well, look what happens when Goblin starts having his middle breakdowns
when he loses
Spider-Man 1.
When he loses his mind.
Yeah.
So I don't look at this
Very Raimi.
as overacting per se. I look at it as Raimi told Neeson, this is what your character's going through. Imagine no feeling. There's no cork on the bottle. Everything kind of bubbles up to the surface. And that's what we got. We got Neeson with zero inhibition on how he was going to act. And I have to even imagine Raimi's like, more.
Now turn it up. Yeah,
more.
Yeah,
More.
I was going to say that. Like he got everything Neeson wanted to give him, and then Raimi said, "Turn it up to 10."
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
can fully see that 100%. I don't see the rubber mask thought on this because this movie probably is. I'm sure I looked at some Fangorias when I was younger because they were
And
on the
probably for
magazine rack.
90, it's probably pretty damn good.
Dude, this was cutting edge stuff in 90. To be on the cover of Fangoria, you had to be doing something others weren't. Or you had to be a character like Freddy or Jason or something like that. Like Total Recall was considered the goriest movie of 1990. And they're not really wrong. If you look at what they actually do as far as the gore in Total Recall, it's gory as hell. So Evil or not Evil Dead, Darkman is not gory, but made it on the cover of Fangoria with
Mhm.
the unbandaged face. That image is burned in my brain. I will see that till the day I die because I keep watching the movie. But I know I almost bought the magazine as I was trying to remember what number it was. Like I knew it was Fangoria, but I couldn't remember the number. And I think I can buy it for like $10. I'm like, it's gonna be the best $10 because it's also got RoboCop 2 in it. Um, I love everything on this movie. It was a superhero. Okay, I'm gonna talk about something that's not a lot of people are bringing up. Some people are. We are in an age when being a nerd is cool. Everyone wants to be a nerd or a geek or comic book fan. When I was a kid, the majority of people looked at you weird because you read comic books. Oh, you read those comics. Oh, who cares about comics? Like there was only a handful of kids that even wore like Batman shirts before the movie came out.
Mhm.
And I read comic books. I loved comic books to death. I'm I'm reading everything I can on a comic book character that I didn't even have a book about. And it was dark. It was just this edge that I never knew at 10 or 11. And I loved it. And there weren't kids my age talking about Darkman. This Darkman wasn't on the place, the playground. I feel like Darkman was made for me and my demographic, yet we were too young to go to the theater and watch it at the time. It was what every 10-year-old probably should have loved and seen that read comic books, but we weren't allowed to go watch it till we were, what, 4 or 5 more years later when we were in our 15s and 16s and we could rent it. So I feel like a movie like that had come out a little bit later. It probably would have been a lot more popular than it actually did in it because it kind of came and then disappeared. Fun fact, the sequel, Darkman 2, is the very first direct to video movie, live action movie that Universal put out. It was the first direct to VHS movie.
It makes sense. Yeah.
It does when you look back. At the time, it was unheard of that it didn't go to theater. They were like, "No, nah, just put it on VHS. Just
See,
get it out
here's
there."
the thing though is I was the age when it came out. I'm 4 years older than you.
Yeah, but you didn't go watch it.
No, but that's my point. Is you're saying that if it would have came out when your age was 14, it would have been more popular. It wasn't. I was that age when it came out, and it wasn't that popular. It
I'm
wasn't early teens, 13, 14, 15, 16s. None of us watched Darkman. None of the people I knew ever watched Darkman in the theater. We didn't go see that.
I think
It wasn't what we wanted to see. It was. I
that's
think it was supposed to be for more young, early 20s characters,
so
and it
so
just didn't catch.
you're confirming what I'm saying. It was made for my generation's younger age. It missed you guys. It didn't click with you guys. But as it got more popular, like the people that I have, like Sludge and all these other guys that when we've, Nate, all these guys that I've talked to that like Darkman are on the younger spectrum than the older ones of when this one came out. So
Yeah,
the 14-year-olds of when it came out weren't interested,
no,
but the next like 4 or 5 year generation, that's what this movie I feel like
it
would
ended
have
up being
clicked better.
It ended up being a cult classic.
Oh, it totally is. And
When they
it's my age group. Even
Yeah.
now, you're like, it's good, it's crap, but it's good. I can appreciate what it is. I'm a fan of this movie though. I love this movie. I think everyone should watch it. I enjoy watching it multiple times. I haven't even said my rating yet. I'm just kind of going off on a thing here, but that's kind of what I was saying is your generation had the opportunity to go watch it in theater, but because there was no like lead up to it, you didn't know what you were going to see other than the trailers. My generation was we had then gotten the comic out in 1990. So the movie had come out and probably I think it was running for a month. The comic, I think it's a 4-issue series came out. So my generation now can see a comic and go, "Oh, I can read it and I can't watch it yet." Give it a little bit longer, we see Fangoria, which was huge around my age. We all loved Fangoria when we found it. Had this movie come out a little bit later where we could have gone to the movies by ourselves, I think it would have hit a little bit. I could be wrong. That's just kind of how I look at it. I feel like that he was too early for a generation that would have probably made this movie like 60, 70 million at,
Yeah.
but
Well, like
uh,
I said, I mean, it still made its money back and then
it
twice
did
as
it.
much.
And
It
then
did it
it
yeah,
got sequels. It got 2
yeah,
sequels.
yeah. But I
So
mean, like I said, it did box office wise, it made Universal money.
it did,
And it got him Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
but it did it did just enough. It was okay, but you're not going to do another one type thing.
Yeah, it was you made money, but it wasn't good enough for us to throw more big it didn't blockbuster.
You didn't Spielberg it, you didn't Lucas it, you
Right.
didn't do any of
Right.
that.
It didn't turn into a blockbuster.
My rating, was like you couldn't figure it out. 4 across the board. It 100% 4. Could make an argument for a higher one, but I do agree some of it has aged not so well. Julie, that drives you freaking nuts the entire time in the movie when he screams Julie's name. And I didn't like her. I really didn't care for her character at all in the movie. Um, but I give it a 4. It's 4 Allianz for me all day long. It's in my rotation. It's in my collection. I have the comics. I have Darkman stuff. So that's me.
There you go. All right, let me do this. We didn't even talk about the music being a almost direct play on Batman. It's Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman, of course.
Yeah, so it's almost a direct play on Batman, honestly.
I'm telling you, man. That was the other thing that we didn't really talk about, even though we've made the connection. Is a lot of people thought this was a Batman ripoff. You know how when we get DVDs that come out when a major blockbuster comes out now, and it's like
Mhm.
this direct to video crap fest. Like the Meg came out, and then all of a sudden there was 1,000 shark movies at Walmart. I feel like that's what a lot of people thought Darkman was.
Yeah.
Batman came out, so this is another company trying to cash in on the Bat. And that's actually what a lot of them said. He was trying to cash in on the Bat.
Yeah, Darkman ended up being it made enough money. It made enough money, but again, it was not Batman. I think
Batman blew everything away.
yeah, I think arguably you have to say that is what changed the nerd generation into being the okay to be a nerd generation.
It changed the movie aspect. I
It
still
changed
remember
things.
because you also got to remember this is the beginning
But
of the
only
nine.
Batman. But only Batman.
I was gonna say
Like I could go to the comic book store and all the Batmans were sold out, but you could still get all your Fantastic Fours and Daredevils and everything
this
else.
was the beginning of the 90s age of comics where things were
Mhm.
printed to oblivion. Everyone was trying something different. It's not the greatest generation of comics by far. I love them because that's what I grew up with. But no, Batman Fever was huge. I mean, it gave us 4 Batman movies, even if we have to count
Ugh.
the last one. There were
Yeah.
Batman toys everywhere, every year.
It was a completely different ballgame, and it gave us Bat Dance. Thank you, Prince.
Yeah, love Prince.
All right, so as we wrap things up, we want to give a shout out, obviously, to our friends over at Sludgecast. Check out Sludge and what they are producing there. If it has anything to do with monster movies or creature features, Sludgecast will or have probably already covered it.
Yeah.
We want to give a quick shout out to Good Beer Bad Movie Podcast. I'm sorry,
Night.
Good Beer Bad Movie Night Podcast.
There you go. You got
There
it
you
now.
go. I got you, Pete. We want to out there. They just did what? Was it Death Machine?
He just shared the clip on Death
The
Machine that
clip on Death Machine.
I had not seen. Apparently, there were several of us that hadn't seen it. And man, you want to talk about a movie that James Cameron watched before he did Terminator. Straight up, I want to find it now.
When I watched it, I vaguely remember seeing it at a drive-in.
It's more than I remember.
But I want to say it was one of those ones where it was like a second feature. Like we watched something else first that was more geared toward like a Superman or something like that.
Probably.
And then
they
I
always did
dozed
the
off.
like R-rated like B type movies later in the
it was
evenings.
I think it was me and my mom and my mom's boyfriend at the time in the back of his SS. I think I fell asleep watching. Vaguely remember that.
I just know it had to be obscure because on the post, mutual friend of mine and Pete's is Christopher Page. He does another podcast that does a lot more of the older movies, not your normal like run of the mill ones. Great podcast. Even he goes, "How did I miss this movie in my VHS rentals back in the day?" And I was like, same, man, same. How did I not watch a movie called Death Machine?
Like I said, I vaguely remembered snippets kind of thing of it. We want to thank Poster Smash. You can check out their stuff over on Instagram, and they also post stuff in our group.
Yep.
We want to say thank you for the Ultimate Action Movie Club. Charlie does some work for them. Check those guys out as well. Thank you to the Mountain Empire Comics stores in Johnson City and Bristol, Tennessee, respectively. Check them out on Facebook. Also, you can send us anything on email to gmbmampod@gmail.com. You can check out the Instagram, which Charlie is.
I am active on it. I post a lot of stuff.
And then also, and most importantly, the Facebook and Facebook group. If you get on Facebook, find the page, but then find the group. The group is so much more interactive. A lot more people are talking and sharing and being a part of the whole group at that point. That's why it's called a group.
Yep.
But make sure you check that out because that's really, where the conversation goes. Like, how many of you think Backdraft is qualified as an action movie? Who thinks Top Gun is an action movie?
-5.
Who has seen Evil Dead and really loves it? Who hasn't seen it in a long time? These are the things that we like to get the conversation going in the Facebook group. So make sure you check that out as well.
It's active. All of our members post quite a bit. I mean, every day there's something new. The page is mostly just for promoting the podcast, and every once in a while I'll share something to it. But there's a link that you click on there. It's a little button Facebook puts on there to join the group. Pretty much gets you right in there.
Yeah, the group's where you need to be. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, and if you can, comment on the show's pages on Podbean and Apple Podcasts. So if you're on Apple Podcasts, you do it there. The analytics in that system really mean more, I guess, than some other platforms for some weird reason.
I have no idea about
Apple's also going through this whole thing now. There's also a whole bunch of new stuff happening I need to talk to you about, by the way, with Green Room and all kinds of other stuff happening.
Yay!
Now. Yeah, it's basically a new live broadcasting system that can be turned into podcasts. I'm still fuzzy.
No one wants to hear us live right now.
Well, this one's going to pretty much be live. So
you're right. There's not a lot of editing that we do in these. Pretty much what you hear is where we're at.
Pretty much what you get. So this one's going up, pretty not a lot of editing on this one. So
shouldn't be.
Nope. Beyond that, man, I don't know. I don't really have anything else. I mean, in 2 weeks we will drop another episode.
Yep.
We have not talked about what it is yet.
Nope, we don't have a list anymore. We kind of went up to 6 with a list,
I think so, yeah.
kinda,
We
and
have
now
some plans in the future, but nothing like weekly.
yeah, we have ideas, but now it's like, hey, what movie are we doing next week? So that's why we haven't really announced them.
Right, right. Also, in the group, critique us if you have any good ideas. If you have any things that you're like, hey, why don't you give this a shot? Or hey, we like the way you did this. Or hey, we like the way
Yeah.
you did that. Let us know. I mean, this is a work in progress still.
And you
even
can
at episode 11.
you can be as mean as Pete is, so don't hold back. Pete doesn't.
You think Pete's mean on your podcast? You should hear him on my podcast.
I get messages from him, sir. So
Ooh. Did you hear the recorded message he left us a couple weeks ago?
is that the one you played at the end of the episode?
Yeah, he had a cute pet name for me.
I did hear it. It was kind of hard to hear though, but yeah.
Yeah.
I heard. I get my bi-weekly message from Pete every once in a while.
Yeah.
We love you, Pete, though.
He's
Never
a trip.
change. Never change.
All righty. So for me, Dan, that's Charlie. Everyone, thanks for listening. We will talk to you again here in a couple weeks. Charlie's Darkman. Charlie.
I am Darkman.
I know, right? You could be. I don't know. How long have you been wearing that? You've been wearing that face longer than 99 minutes.
Yeah, this is true.
You got anything else to say?
I'll be back.
I knew you'd say that.